So we're in Torrevieja, we're around the back streets of Torrevieja today, and we're just going to be talking about the 20 things that you're just going to hate about Spain. And these are the things that you're going to have to get used to if you come to Spain. And one of the worst things, believe it or not, in Spain is when you buy a house, because they are absolutely freezing. They're like fridges. So you're going to have to get used to that if you come to Spain. Houses are very, very cold. Unlike anywhere else in England or other countries, they are very well insulated. Another thing you're going to have to get used to as well if you come to Spain, especially if you've got a nice new car, is get used to the way the Spanish park their cars. As you can see, they come up very close, and it's called bumper cars. They just bump your car out of the way to get in the space. So you can't really have a new car in Spain. And another thing that really annoys me as well is when you give way at junctions and let them out, they just don't like to say thank you, and also don't like using their indicators. So if you come to Spain, be careful if you buy a new car, because you're going to get it all bumped up at the back and front, all scratched paintwork. And another annoying thing as well about Spain, scooters. It's not so much that they come up down the road on their scooters, it's when they come down the wrong way on a scooter, and it absolutely drives me mad. They just pull out in front of you. Sometimes there's 2 or 3 people on it. Really, really annoys me. And you're going to have to get used to it, because there's tons of scooters now. It seems like everyone's on it, the kids, the adults. It's like a form of transport. And if you decide to take a nice walk around the back streets, another thing that really drives me mad is the dog poo, dog shit, whatever you want to call it. They just don't like picking up their dog shit in Spain. They just leave it lying on the pavement. It's absolutely disgusting. You've got to take a look at this. Absolutely disgusting. This is what they do. They just walk off and let their dog foul all over the pavement. And if that ain't annoying enough, it's barking dogs in Spain. Just drive you mad. Nuts. And it'll drive you nuts if you come to Spain, because I don't know what it is. They're these little yappers, and they just let them bark all day, all night, and they're not even bothering to tell them to quieten up or anything. They just let them yap, yap, yap. And believe me, you won't want to move next door to one of them. So make sure you check out your property before you buy, because you won't want to live next to a barking yapper all day and night. That's for sure. Another thing really annoys me as well is their siestas. Drives me absolutely nuts. Whenever you want anything, it seems the shops are closed. It's a siesta time, 2 to 4. They're not going to get any work done here. Everything is manuana. They start work about 8:30, have a coffee break, before you know it, they're on a siesta 2 to 4. And if you're a builder or worker, some urbanisations, you can't do any work in these hours, because it's designed to let them rest and sleep. Surprised they get any work done really. Every other week seems to be a red day. And on top of that, if you need anything on a Sunday from a supermarket, you'll find nearly every other week the supermarket's closed. They like to close the supermarkets on a Sunday to give the small supermarkets and shops a chance to make a living. But it just seems whenever you need anything, Sunday, the supermarkets are closed. So you'd have to get used to that when you come to Spain. And I'll tell you what really annoys me, really annoys me, is when you book a time to come round and do a job, or you got to meet them at a certain appointment. I don't know what it is with these. I laugh and joke, manuana, it drives me mad. You book the time for 10 o'clock and they'll turn up at 12 o'clock. They might not even turn up at all. Now that really drives me absolutely crazy, because us English, we like to be on time, even early. And even if you're late, you might even get a phone call. Not in Spain. They just don't turn up. And if they do turn up, luckily enough, a few hours later, they just brush it off. As for service, well, if you go into a bar and you sit down, you might be waiting forever to get a drink, because they sort of just walk straight through you. It's like you don't exist. You could be sitting there 15-20 minutes before you get a drink. And if you're having a meal and you're waiting for your bill, it's never ever going to come. You're never going to get a bill. They don't come and give you a bill unless you ask for it. So you could be sitting there for ages. And some places you could be sitting there ages for a drink as well. Service is absolutely dreadful. The good thing about Spain, unlike America, they don't have a tip-in culture. So you don't have to tip in Spain. It's not a tip-in country. I'm not surprised. Like I say, the service is awful. You go to the supermarket, and if you want to buy any lemons or oranges, astronomical prices, absolutely fortunes. Cannot believe what you pay for a lemon in a supermarket when nearly every household on the street are growing lemon trees, and lemons are all over the place in Spain, and oranges, the main country for exporting it all around the world, and yet we've got to pay a fortune for it. Just don't understand it. So you've come to Spain, you've got to get used to all this kind of thing. People as well dumping all their rubbish by the bins when you've got a big bin to put your rubbish in, and instead of lifting the lid and putting your rubbish in the lid, they just leave it on the floor. Now that all the time this happens, the bin's empty and they just can't be bothered to put it in. It absolutely drives me crazy. Leave it on the floor. Now that really winds me up. Just got to lift the lid up. You've even got a pedal on the bin to lift it up and put it in. There we go. I don't know what it is about Spain. They're just so lazy on certain things. Like, don't use their indicators on roundabouts. And not only that, you'll be going around a roundabout and you're doing it the correct way. Well, you think you are, but Spain talk different. And they literally cut right across as you're turning into your junction. Take a look at this. This is the problem with a roundabout. The cars go on the inside and the Spanish just cut across right over as you're going round. So you've always got to look to your left because they cut straight in. Roundabouts. The Spanish are taught to go all the way round on the inside, and then you can see they just cut straight across the lane. Also, taxes in Spain are absolutely astronomical. 21% IVA. The VAT on your bill every time you buy something. Tax. They love that tax out here. Tax and fines. And even in some cases, could be up to 24% on resale of houses if you're not a resident. So they love their taxes here. I mean, Spain's a beautiful country, don't get me wrong. It's lovely, can be cheap on the food and the alcohol, and the beautiful outdoor al fresco dining. It's really nice to enjoy the culture, and a lot healthier eating and everything. But it's got a lot of bad things about it as well. I mean, the police turn a blind eye, and I think it's really disgusting. These prostitutes sitting on roundabouts on chairs. Don't matter if it's day or night, you find them sitting on these roundabouts. And yeah, it's not good to the eye. You've got some nice urbanisations and you don't really want to be seeing that. Also, another thing about Spain, if you do need to buy anything in the shop, or you open a bank account, whatever you seem to do in Spain, everything revolves around NIE. You can't even buy a fridge, anything in a shop. All they go is NIE, got NIE, we need your NIE, insurance, car, anything. Everything revolves around NIE. They really want to know where you're getting the money from, and they track every movement you're doing. There we go, another scooter going along here. That's another thing about these scooters. There was a law brought in that you've got to have an helmet, but it just seems that they don't seem to take any notice. You see plenty of that in Torrevieja, 2 or 3 on a scooter, but they just turn a blind eye. It seems they're picking and choosing who they really want to enforce this new law on about scooters and crashing. Yeah, this is morning time, 12 o'clock in Torrevieja. See, quite busy. You've got lots of bars down these side streets. There you go, straight down there you've got Playa de Cura beach, and if we was to go up there and turn left, we'll be up to Playa Los Locos beach. Well, we're just taking a stroll around these back streets, seeing all these little quainty bars, and we're talking about all the bad things about Spain. I'll be doing a video next about all the good things about Spain, but these are things you need to know before you come, really. Also about these high fees you pay when you buy a property and sell a property. In England you can sell a property and not pay anything. Yeah, you sell a property and you've got to pay a huge amount in tax. And also when you buy a property as well, it's another bad thing. You've got to make sure that the property you're buying, and you see a picture of it and you go through with it with the agent, they've not found the house for you, because you could be paying agent searcher fees for the property on top of the price. So you've got to always check that when you're buying properties. You're not paying a fee. It's so quiet sometimes in these urbanisations, but the Spanish, when they talk, they're actually shouting. They could be on a phone, it will sound like they're having an argument on the phone, but what they're really doing, they're just having a normal conversation, but they just like to shout. You go out your way to learn a little bit of Spanish, and they do understand what you're saying, because you're saying the same things to different Spanish people and they totally understand, and it's when they try and pretend they don't understand. No entiendo, no entiendo. Yeah, don't understand what you're saying, but they do. That really annoying. Spain is these rental scooters. They just seem to just dump them on the pavement, in the road. Yeah, but they just seem to be everywhere. And these are the scooters I'm telling you about, where people are just jumping on and using them as transport. You just scan your phone and you pay for how many mileage you do. But yeah, that is really annoying, because they don't seem to be enforcing anything with these scooters, like I said before, and they're just dumping them all over the place, corners, urbanisations. And another thing as well, health and safety in Spain does not exist. I mean, you've just got holes everywhere on the pavement, as you can see. Uneven pavements, big holes. Yeah, health and safety in Spain. Trip and go flying, but you won't be able to get any money out of the place for compensation, because Spain don't have a compensation culture. And like I said, mañana, old Spain. And help the safety, roadworks, all that kind of stuff, it takes them forever to do. And if you're thinking about working for yourself in Spain, that's another thing you need to check out, because unlike the UK, where you earn your money and at the end of the year you work out your taxes and then you pay your tax on what you earn and all the expenses. Oh no, not in Spain, it don't. In Spain it's called autónomo, and it's a work for yourself, and what you do, you end up paying, to start off with, very little. You could start off at 70 euros a month, but you'll have to pay yourself an accountant, so that'll be another 50 euros a month, and every month you'll have to submit your accounts, and at the end of the tax year it will put all in for the tax man. Like I said, it starts off at 70 a month, 3 months later it goes up to 100, then it goes to 150, and after a year you're paying 350 to 400 a month quid self-employment. And what does it give you? Well, self-employment will give you and your wife healthcare. That'll be the only benefit, because if you're not earning that kind of money and you're paying 400 quid a month, very, very expensive. They were taking a look at this and trying to make it a lot fairer, because you're paying the same monthly money for being self-employed as someone that's earning far, far more than you. You might be only earning 100 euros a month, and you've got to pay out at the end of it, top rate, 350, 400 with your accountant on top. So self-employment in Spain is something you need to really look into. So that's a little account of what you're going to have to get used to when you come to Spain, what you're going to have to not like about Spain, apart from all the good things. I mean, it might be a moan up on a Thursday morning in February on a nice 21 degrees, and you can chill out at a bar and enjoy life, but they are the bad things, and some of them are really important points, and a new car would be one of them. Be careful where you park, and be careful you're not parking in one of these car nudges that's going to nudge it a couple of feet out of the way so they can squeeze their car in, because these people do not care where they park. They even park on zebra crossings and blocking the road, zebra crossings, and sometimes the cars can be even in the middle of the road. There's one last point I want to finish on, and that's begging. Begging outside the supermarket absolutely drives me absolutely nuts. Go and do your shopping and then you got them now begging for money. I don't know why they allow this, but yeah, that is the last moment of the day. And if you like the video, don't forget to check out the next one just up here, and I'll see you in the next video.